In the summer of 1984, a married couple named Thomas and Evelyn, both in their early 40s, were on a long-anticipated road trip across Canada. They had driven from Calgary through the Rockies and were nearing the end of their journey as they arrived in Vancouver, British Columbia. Tired but excited to experience the city, they drove into the downtown core and found what appeared to be a charming old hotel tucked between two larger commercial buildings. The sign above the front door read "The Westford," written in ornate golden script. It looked like it had once been a grand place, perhaps in the 1930s or 1940s, but still retained a warm, nostalgic charm. They parked nearby and checked in without issue. The desk clerk, a polite older man in a burgundy uniform, handed them a brass key attached to a heavy leather fob. Their room was on the third floor, overlooking a side street. It had floral wallpaper, a clawfoot tub, and a rotary phone. Everything seemed oddly antique, but functional. Evelyn remarked that the room smelled faintly of lavender and old books. "It is like stepping back in time," she said with a smile. After freshening up, they decided to take a walk and find a place for dinner. They left their suitcase in the room and handed the brass key back to the front desk clerk, who nodded silently. They walked for about 2 hours, eventually eating at a seafood place on Granville Street. By the time they returned, the sun had set and the streets were beginning to quiet. When they turned the corner to the street where the Westford had been, Thomas stopped in his tracks. Evelyn looked up and frowned. The building was no longer there. In its place was a gravel parking lot, dimly lit and half full. The hotel was simply gone, not boarded up, not under construction, not demolished, just entirely absent. The space it had occupied was now filled with parked cars and trash bins. At first, they believed they had taken a wrong turn. They retraced their steps several times, walking up and down adjacent streets, but every landmark, the cafe on the corner, the mural on the wall of the nearby bookstore, all confirmed they were in the exact place where the hotel had stood just hours before. There was no sign, no entrance, and no indication that the Westford had ever existed. Confused and increasingly concerned about their belongings still inside, Thomas approached a nearby gas station to ask about the hotel. The attendant looked puzzled and said, "There has not been a hotel on this block for as long as I can remember. Maybe back in the 40s or 50s, but that lot's been empty since at least the 70s." When shown their paper map, which indeed listed the Westford Hotel, the attendant shook his head and muttered, "That has got to be a really old map." They eventually went to the police station to report the incident, unsure of what else to do. An officer took their statement, but treated them with a mixture of skepticism and politeness. "You are not the first ones to say something weird like this," he said quietly when no one else was listening. "Once every few years, someone mentions a hotel around that block that does not exist anymore. Always sounds like the same place too." The next morning, Thomas and Evelyn returned to the lot in daylight. It was the same, cracked pavement, oil stains, a few parked cars, no signs of demolition or renovation. No record of a hotel permit or recent construction in the area. They searched city records and archives over the following days. A hotel named the Westford had, indeed, existed, but it had closed in 1947 after a fire damaged part of the upper floors. The building was condemned and demolished shortly after, though few photos remained. To this day, the couple does not know what they experienced. They lost their suitcase, their clothes, and a few personal items. But the encounter left a deeper impression than any material loss could have. Some believe they stumbled into a time slip, a brief moment where past and present overlapped. Others have claimed that certain pockets in downtown Vancouver, particularly around older neighborhoods like Gastown, are prone to these strange, temporal anomalies. Though no one has been able to replicate the event, and the Westford remains a footnote in Vancouver's history books, the legend has persisted. Stories of other travelers catching glimpses of long-demolished buildings, or hearing jazz music echoing from alleys where nightclubs once stood, continue to surface now and then, always vanishing as quickly as they appear. So, what really happened to the Westford Hotel in downtown Vancouver? Was it simply a forgotten corner of history, or a glimpse into a time long gone, folding briefly into our own? We may never know, but one thing is certain: Canada's West Coast holds more mysteries than meet the eye. If you enjoyed this strange tale of time slips and forgotten places, let us know in the comments, and tell us, what would you do if you checked into a hotel that vanished? For more eerie encounters, haunted highways, and chilling urban legends from Western Canada, like, share, and subscribe to West is Best, where the past is never quite gone, and the West never stops whispering. Do not forget to hit the bell so you never miss another legend. Until next time, keep your map closed and your eyes open, because out here, the past sometimes checks back in.